Hey everybody, Brian again. Back with another Java tutorial. I got a request to do a problem out of the exercises section in chapter 5 of building Java programs, our textbook for the class here at AP Computer Science. Exercise number 1 asks you to write a method that are called showTwos that takes an int parameter and shows you the factorization of twos that lead to that number. So 60 passed into the method showTwos would yield the output 60 equals 2 times 2 times 15, which is mathematically correct. ShowTwos performed on 280 would yield 2 times 2 times 2, and I think there's one more here. I kind of, no. Is that right? No, that's right. 2 times 2 times 2 times 35. Okay, so I haven't tried this yet, so I thought it might be kind of interesting to try to problem solve this live without really running through it and see if maybe it would be beneficial for you guys to see me in my problem solving mode without having rehearsed the solution first. So here's what I'm going to think. I'm going to go ahead and start building the method header, and I'm just going to, without further information, I'm going to assume it's void and just do the printing inside the method, and I'll call this showTwos. And I need that int parameter. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to chop that number down by 2, divide by 2 as long as I can until it cannot be divided by 2 anymore. You'd see that this last number that it ends up with is basically the first number in that process that is not divisible by 2. So what I think I need to do is, I don't know what number I'm going to get, so I need to use an indefinite loop, a while loop. So I'm going to say while n is cleanly divisible by 2. In other words, when you take the mod 2, it equals 0. That means the number is divisible by 2 at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and while I do that, every time I'm going to append a 2 times onto the string, if that makes sense. And I also need to keep track of a string. So let's go ahead and start that up here. So string answer, and I'm going to leave it like this so that I can append onto it. If I just leave it as nothing at all, that is a null string object. You can't really append onto a null. You need something to start with if you want to append. So let's go ahead and just start it like that. That way we can kind of tack onto it. Okay, so let's say this. While n mod 2 is 0, in other words, the number is divisible by n, let's go ahead and do it. So let's say n, I want you to be half of what you were before. So divided by equals 2. Okay, so you could, another way to say this is n gets n divided by 2. This is the shorthand way of saying that. And in the process, I'm going to answer plus equals. Actually, you know what I can do? See, this is the cool thing about doing this live, is that I'm kind of thinking I need to start with n in here. I need to have that be, okay, string answer equals n appended with the equal sign, and then I'm going to build onto it. Okay, so I don't need this first part anymore. So basically I want n equal, so I'm basically getting the 60 equals part, and then I'm going to start building onto it. Okay, so every time it's divisible by 2, I'm going to go ahead and take half of that and then say added onto that string is going to become 2 times space. Okay, so every time I divide by 2, that means the number on the outside, or the part of our answer string, is going to be a 2 times. So basically, however many times we divide by 2 in this loop, it'll show up out here as a 2 times. All right, and let's see here. I think this is going to be good. And by the end of this loop, n will be chopped down so many times that it won't be divisible by 2 anymore. The loop will be exited. Then at the end of this, I'd like to append on n. So answer append on the value of n. Okay, so basically, for example, if I take, let's kind of run through this with 60. Okay, well, hopefully this works here. So here we go. This answer string so far is going to say Right, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of keep track of this. This is a live problem solving here. Whoa, what is going on, bro? Okay, for the number 60 passed in, this will start with 60 equals, right? And then I'm going to come back here and append when it's ready. All right, so is 60 divisible by 2? Yes. Then n is going to be now 30. And then this gets appended onto here, 2 times. All right, is 30 divisible by 2? Yes, it is. All right, so now it's 15, and I append another one. 2 times. Is 15 divisible by 2? No, it is not. So here we go. The answer string is going to get 15, which is what n is now, appended onto the end. And I think this is going to be good. So this works with 60. So I'm going to assume that it's going to work for a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and see if this does indeed work. I do need to print it, but let's go ahead and make these calls up here and then print the answer. See if this is a good solution. Oftentimes I run into some problems, but let's see. All right, that was good. That worked for these numbers. So I don't know. Let's put some like crazy number in here and see if it does some cool stuff. Whoa, okay. So actually not that many more factors of 2, and you can see this isn't evenly divisible by anymore, so this must have worked. I wish I would have picked a number. I know there must be some cool number that's like divisible by 2. It's probably not going to be that divisible. I don't know. I'm just, I should know more about this stuff. Oh, you know what? That's too big. Yeah, an int value can't hold that much. So let's try that. Just for fun. I'm not picking numbers that are very divisible by 2. I know like some powers of 2. How about like 256 is a power of 2. That should give us a big long string of 2s. Times 1 at the end, that's an interesting side effect. Maybe we could make a stipulation that if it's 1 at the end that we don't show it. Right? So we could wrap that up in an if statement if we wanted to, but this is fine as it is for now. Anyway, this was number 1 out of the exercise book. I hope you guys liked it. While loops are really nice. Remember, we talked about this in a previous video. While loops are great when you don't know how many times it needs to run, and this is a perfect example of that. Okay, a for loop would be essentially useless here, unless you really forced it. So while loops are our friend. Make sure you're familiar with mod, the shorthands for cutting numbers down, multiplying them, appending, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Maybe I'll try another problem tonight and just upload it. All right, talk to you guys later. Happy coding.